Righty ho.
Hello YouTube! We are gonna do the CSE Web and Database Technology 2018-2019 exam for for web, and we're also gonna do the mock exam to see what the format of the thing is.
Why the fuck is is it in April? Did it used to be like a third quarter course or something, or is it a reset we're doing?
This is a reset.
It's a reset, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm blind.
Why
Cool.
don't you do the actual exams though? The resets are easier.
Wait, why would the resets be easier?
They are.
It depends who you ask. If we do this one in like really quickly, then we'll just do the other one as well.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay.
It's multiple choice.
Cool.
So, what I would do, is
There
like
is
give
nothing to
everyone
say,
like
really.
fucking- well, there's nothing.
Okay,
to say.
so-
There really is just nothing to say.
Yeah, no,
about
I
that.
know. This is just like, whoa, cool code, man. Let's see. So, this is important. When you click next page, you're not able to go back. So if you now say, oh fuck, I had something different than what I should have, yeah, you're fucked. Also, don't click the submit quiz button if you don't have all the questions filled in, because I almost clicked this one instead of next page.
I mean, they really just don't want to go back. There are two next page buttons.
Isn't it ironic that,
One
like,
than the previous
isn't it ironic that for the web course, the web design of the exam is so atrocious?
the entire thing is atrocious. But
I think that's on purpose. No.
Also,
Yeah.
is it only me? When
You can get 11 points if you find and fix a bug in the Brightspace thing.
Last question.
There's actually my
What's this exam
By the way-
designed well by web standards?
By the way, guys, I literally emailed our lecturer about something that she can fix on the website with the materials. By the way, and she agreed to that.
Yeah, same.
Nice.
But just do it as a GitHub issue. It's easier.
yeah.
And I emailed her because they are the pages on the all the materials pages are too long, and it should be helpful to have some button that goes like you can click and goes to the up like really fast instead of scrolling, and to have more like navigation because it's really long pages.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
And she
And then-
agreed. Yeah.
JavaScript is horrible. Submit quiz.
Yes, best answer.
yes.
Yes.
Wait. Can you now go back to questions?
You can go back to question, but you cannot. Like, you can do the last one.
Oh.
Like,
No,
why is this a quiz? What do you mean?
This is just to like show what the way the thing is.
It's
Okay,
attempt
cool.
1.
Attempt what? Fuck! You can just
Can't
click
even
done.
see the answers you gave.
You can't even do that. You can just click done. That's it.
What the hell?
I wonder if there is a way. I wonder if
Yuri.
there is another way to just go back to the previous page, because there is a button for the next page, and probably there is just some option to go back. So maybe if you send some,
Maybe if
console
you
request-
look through it in the inspector, but
yeah.
I wouldn't recommend
Probably
fucking with
worthwhile
the exam during the exam.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that tracking do you think they're tracking what you're doing? That would take them like at least 5 minutes of effort.
No. I don't think they would track what we're doing. I do think they would track weird requests to the server.
I think
we would have to request.
knowing web.
When
Yeah,
you
okay.
start the quiz,
Let's just not do it during the quiz, because you can get fucked over by this. Okay?
yeah, but like
They bother to implement a tracker, but they can't bother to implement a back button.
yeah. But like they also in the
Yeah,
beginning
on
of
the web GitHub page, there's a tracker.
Where did you find the exam, by the way? Where can you download that?
So this one is in the web course, and then it says we did it in the updates thing, and it's here in the updates thing.
Wait, so
Well, not here, but there will be like exams that you haven't done yet, and you can do that.
So when you're doing the exam in Brightspace, I think.
Yep.
Then you let's say halfway through my exam, I go to my second screen. They know that.
No.
they did say something on the start page of the mock exam that about switching tabs or anything in that matter. I don't
They
know.
can detect if you switch focus from something. They can detect if you use the console, because you can attach something to the debugger. I think they can detect.
You can't detect a console opening.
Well, opening no,
you-
but I think putting requests you definitely can. Come on.
Well,
That's-
yeah,
you-
if you're doing stuff, then of course that's locked. But
I think you can
Yeah,
actually
looking
also.
at stuff technically,
I
no.
think like on debugger, like you can check if the console, if the debugger, like the F12 thing is opened.
They
Like
can
I'm pretty sure there is
no.
a way that you can see when you open this. I am.
I
almost
looked
100%
for
sure.
it and I couldn't find anything.
I've seen it used before in the CTF. I think there is.
But everyone has a laptop now. Just do the quiz on a laptop and use the console on your PC.
Let's not discuss
I mean,
fraud
if,
in my
if
YouTube
you if
video,
you will
guys.
Yeah.
cheat, which I'm saying I will not, but you know.
Yeah, but you still have to type everything over, don't you?
Guys, let's
mean,
not
yeah.
discuss fraud in the YouTube video. We're just gonna go on.
There's
Yeah.
no typing. It's multiple choice. What do you mean?
I
Welcome
have
to
this
the
thing
YouTube
just to
tutorial.
like.
Today I will show you how to cheat on all your exams.
The order of answers on your answer form is not always A, B, C, D. What do you mean?
Yeah, it is.
Probably
pretty
so
dumb.
you can't look on someone else's sheet
Mm.
in an actual exam room.
Wait, I have another question. How do you know if you like with the oral check thing? How do you know when you have to?
You get an email.
You get an email.
Like right after the exam, or
Yeah. They hope you get an email.
Database.
30
Do you
minutes.
have to
30
wait-
minutes
do you have
after
to
the
wait for,
exam.
like how long so you can know that you're not?
Half an hour, I believe, at least.
Yeah.
Guys, actually a question. Is it an open book exam or not?
No.
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 But it is multiple choice. So.
Yeah.
Like. If this wasn't multiple choice and it was closed book, it would be absolutely fucked. But since it's multiple choice, I think you should be able to hopefully at least get a 5. But I don't know. I haven't done a mock exam yet, so let's
Yeah,
start.
we'll see. Okay, we'll start.
Yes.
Okay. Consider the following HTTP header. Which of the following statements is true? Okay, it's a response header.
I think it's valid. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't just go to a website and say, hey, it is okay.
Yeah.
It is okay because I say so. Okay, so there's two different things. So it's saying either because the host attribute is missing or the response
No,
attribute.
that's a request. She is a request.
Yeah, so we can ignore this one anyways because you know it's not a request.
And AB as well, I think.
Yeah, so we can
response,
ignore
bro.
A and C. So it's either B or D. So either it's
No, no, no,
50,
I think-
who's gonna coin?
But
What do they even mean?
But
The
this is-
response attribute is missing.
There,
This is
there
just
might
B,
be
right?
something like response colon here, but I'm not sure if that even is a valid.
That's not a thing.
I'm not sure if it's
Even
valid,
it
and
was
it's
a
most
thing,
definitely not
definitely
required.
required, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Heads, it's B.
So let's just
Because
say
I'm pretty sure the only actual thing required is just a status code, a content type, and a length.
Yeah. I mean length, is it? Because there's no length here.
Length is not even required, no.
I was about to
It's
say.
only if you're sending data, actually. Length is required.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a header.
A
so
common
there's no
representation is the OSI model. In what order do TCP, IP, and HTTP occur in it?
What?
So we
Wow.
have the physical layer, then the IP, then TCP,
Well,
then
This
HTTP.
is like this is easy to see as HTTP has to be the top one.
Yeah, and not only that, but also, you know, HTTP is delivered via. I'm not using the right terminology, but you get what I mean. It's delivered via TCP. TCP goes over IP because you know you have to connect to an IP address to send data, and then the physical layer is just literally the cables through your house. So, see. What does long polling refer to?
Oh, scroll down a bit. There's more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does long polling refer to in the context of HTTP? Long polys embodies a pull mechanism that is missing in HTTP. It implemented via WebSockets. They require a protocol upgrade. After the upgrade, the client can pull data from the server at will. Nope. It's a push mechanism that's missing.
I think it's a
I think
push
it's-
mechanism coming from the server.
No, wasn't long polling that you?
Long polling is that you send an HTTP request and the server only answers it once they've
Yeah.
actually gotten like new data.
The
Yeah,
server,
so-
the server initiates the
Yeah.
connection.
Oh wait, so it might actually be this one. The client sends an HTTP request, server heard to request open. Yeah, so it's B.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay. This is starting off to be really easy. I guess I don't understand why they like have a 97% pass rate.
97. Okay.
No, the beginning is easier than the end, though. But yeah,
Yeah, fair.
and I don't think the 97% is accurate.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I think it was 97% from everybody who got higher than a 4 or some weird shit, but we don't know. What does accept encoding identity indicate? The client only sends context that is not compressed. Any type of encoding. Client and server could not agree on an encoding. The client requests an alternative server. This one's not good, guys. The server informed the client of the encoding of the content. Well, that's not.
It's
A,
I think.
It's either A or B.
It's A.
It's A because.
Yeah, I think it's A.
You
I've seen
can't
that before.
specify any encoding type that isn't a normal non-encoding thing, like identity, basically.
Yeah, like otherwise you would say accept encoding. Wait, is that even here or up here?
It's like, it would be gzip deflate.
Yeah, something like that. It's not here, but yeah, that would be.
Oh yes, we can read
Let's
Java.
go! Let's go! Let's go!
Oh yeah, this one is fun.
Okay.
Okay,
Read the
Joran,
following
don't-
Read the following two files. So we have a function increase health tokens, which increases export.health. They have decrease health tokens, which decreases export.health, and it makes a 0 basically, if it's less than 0. Set name sets the export.name. Export.health is set, export.name is set, increase health and decrease health and set name are all bound, so that makes sense. It requires foo. Let's see, what are all the answers? There's no undefined, so I assume that this just works. There's no issue here, I guess. Then they call a setName function. They call another setName function. They increase the health, and they log the name and the health of both of them.
Can you scroll up a bit?
So it would be.
And the name here is by default John Doe. The health is by default 0.
Okay, and if so you do increase health tokens, but tokens doesn't get used.
Yeah, hell,
so the 10 and 15 are already.
Yeah.
Like.
What do you mean? Tokens
So
doesn't
they say increase health 10, but that doesn't get used. It just one gets incremented. So anything with a 5 or a 10, like this, doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
that
I would
also
say it's
already doesn't
either.
So it uses tokens, and so.
Yeah, the tokens doesn't get used. So
Well,
it's
tokens. Isn't the 10 the tokens?
the 10 is the token,
that
but
just
it's
gets
not.
ignored.
Yeah, it just gets ignored.
Oh, but just the export health gets increased, so it becomes from 0 to 1.
Yeah.
So they're both 1.
Either there are a few scenarios I can think of. Either this code, when it gets executed in this context, actually doesn't increment the exports of this code, like the things stored in player 1 and player 2, but it actually acts on the exports of this file. That could be true. Something else that could be true is that it just works like intended, and it just has this.
But Jure,
it could work.
If the first one is the case, if you scroll up a bit, won't it go? Because it increases exports.health, but that would also call on the export of the other function. Or of the other file. So once you're running it in the other file, everything will just be on the other file, I suppose.
Yeah, but like when you call export dot, like this is the export dot health here is no longer export dot health. It's now player 1 and player 2 dot health.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you interact with export dot health, you might be interacting with the export dot health of this file, which would mean that
it's both 0.
That this is the answer. However, there's two other options. Either that, or the code works as intended, and it's this. This is the version answer, or there's only.
Wait, if the code works as intended, it should be 10 and 5, right?
No, because token gets like they say tokens here, but that just completely gets ignored. It just gets 1 added. So that's just a reading error.
Okay. So it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work as intended, but it.
I think the
does
name
work.
should be Bob and Alice because it does use set name, and then if you go, so I think the names do work.
Wait, but is that name a function?
Yeah, if you go.
Yeah.
up a bit,
Like
look,
all the.
No, but exports.name. So that would also change the export.name of the file. So if it would
here it just
so
prints
it's either
one name.
John Doe 0.
Name.
Yes, but player 1.name will be John Doe. So either it's John Doe 0, John Doe 0, or Bob 1, Ellis 1. Yeah, so either C or A.
Or
depending on if it works.
Controversial one.
yeah,
It might be D.
It might be
Yeah.
wrong.
because if there is only one export in foo, that would mean that it just both of these get just get pushed on the exports of foo.js.
I would go for C.
I go for A.
I would go for A.
I go for D.
It's D.
Yeah.
It's D because with the foo require, it requires the file twice. So the second time it overrides the first time. So they're both the same.
Remember when you said that this would be an easy test 5 minutes ago?
No, this is good.
This is just some JavaScript fuckery, though.
Yeah,
but that's all the JavaScript question.
It's a dumb question, but at the same time,
The export is bound to the file, and therefore it's referring to the exact same variables in both function or both objects.
okay, that's good to know. So then,
So how would it look if it was actually good?
We'll see.
It wouldn't use.
It would create a
Yeah.
new object.
It wouldn't use
that'll-
exports. It would just use variables in the file.
Yeah,
So
it would
if
just create a
exports is
new.
gone here.
Yeah,
We'll see how it goes. Like we'll see for the
Yeah,
when we look at the answers.
What explanation did you have for D?
So when
they
you
both go
require
for the-
foo, like the exports of foo get bound to player 1 and also to player 2. So then
And they're
those
acting
get
on the same.
edited.
Exports are of a file, not of an object.
Okay.
That's the way it
So
works.
Let's see. We'll see when we get there.
So if there was only one, so if it only did one require foo, would that mean that it would be Bob 1, Bob 1?
Well, it
No,
wouldn't be
because it's not
twice.
because it's required twice. It's because the health link read twice.
And the name is changed to Alice
Yeah.
for the last one.
The name is.
Oh, it changes to. Okay.
Everything it exports is assigned to a file and not to an object that's created from that
Oh,
file.
so it just overwrites it, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Which of the
But
following
before the
tables
question,
about?
you can you just make Notepad a little less wide and your PDF a little wider?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Let's see.
Multiple choice anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, could be really small.
What about this stuff is false? More than 100 billion unique IP addresses can be generated in IPv4 address space. That is, this thing is already looking at me weirdly. Gotta be honest.
2 to the
Yeah,
power
I don't
12
think
is
so.
what?
No,
Yeah,
it's
it's
4
it's 2
billion.
to the power
No,
it's 2 to the power 32. So that's like the
Oh yeah, that one.
so it's like the signed value of that is positive 2.147 bill. Like yeah, people who work with bits know that.
Yeah.
To negative 2.47 bill. However, we don't work with negative numbers, so it's basically 4.3 something bill.
yeah.
But
Okay,
that's
let's take a
not-
look at the rest.
Yeah. Version 4 IP addresses consist of 32 bits. They are divided into 4 blocks of 8 bits each. Well, that's
Yeah.
true. It's 4 bytes, so 4 numbers from 0 to 255. An IPv6 address consists of 128 bits. Yeah, that's true. That's correct. You have. Let's see. I think you have.
And now we've narrowed down the possible answers to 1.
Yeah. Actually, it's 1 or 3, but the internet maintains 2 principal namespaces: the domain name hierarchy and the IP address system. So that's just literally the like Google.com or Shelf, GitHub.io. That's like domain names, and they also the IP address system. So I could. I'm not sure if it would work, but I could ping this IP, see what the IP is, ping this domain name, see what the IP is, and then directly connect to that as well.
You can go to 8.8.8.
And if 2 is true, then 3 is by necessity false, right? Because if it's a 32-bit thing, then it can't be more than 100 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So this is indeed just
So it has to be 3.
yeah.
Well,
ooh.
A or C.
Yeah, but it's 1 and 3 could also be.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm going
Yeah,
A.
I am.
It's,
I am. This does seem to make sense.
it's true, I think.
I'm pretty sure it's true.
YOLO.
It is an hierarchy of domain names.
Yeah, because you have like the
IP system.
GitHub.io and then shout.github.io.
Exactly.
I think it's correct. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
You filled in C, which is only 3, so you need to fill in A for 6.
What?
on your notes.
Yeah, that's correct. I think 3 is the only one that's false.
Oh yeah, false.
Yep. Consider the
That's
following
accurate.
address. So we have https www.bing.com/search qstu delft qsn. In general, a URL can consist of up to 9 parts. Which of the following parts is not present in the URL below? So we have the scheme, that's HTTPS. Okay. 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 We have the input parameters. Well, that's the QSTU Delft QSN. We have the path, that's /search. So I'm quite sure it's the fragment.
That's what I had.
What even is that?
What do you
No
mean
idea.
fragment?
I have no clue what a fragment is, but the rest is in there.
Fragment, I think, is the like the hashtag something. The
Oh
ID
yeah,
of
that
an
could be. Like
element
you have
in the
like
Yeah,
connection.
that's right.
Yes,
oh,
you're right.
And what is the
Yeah.
scheme?
the input parameters.
The
That's
scheme
like
is
Q
the
equals to
protocol
TU
scheme is
Delft
a
QSN.
protocol.
connection.
So those are
No,
like
what
the import parameters. The import parameter, the web parameters for the GET request.
The next
Yeah, but
one was in the
what is
lecture, I
the
think.
scheme? Is Bing this? No, Bing is not the scheme. What is the
It's
scheme?
HTTP.
HTTPS.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
okay.
is the
Can be
scheme.
WebSocket, HTTP.
Yeah, so you can have like
Sometimes.
FTP, FTP to an address, and then that will work if you have an FTP client. But yeah, URLs get used for more than just web.
Yeah,
What
question
was the
8.
result of the?
I think this was like already discussed somewhere.
Yeah, it was in
Yeah,
the web.
that's a stupid question.
So
Yeah,
what it does
so-
here is it sets 10. It sets a timeout 10 times in a row. That after 1 second, it should console log I. And I think the thing is the keyword that is
Oh.
here determines the
Yeah, I know this one.
determines what is being done. So this is false. Depending on var or letters here, this can be true. This is false. Either and this can be true as well.
I'm going D.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
I
it's
think it was
D.
D.
It's on the website. It's one of the examples.
Yeah.
It's D.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, D.
Kaatpuntjes, hey.
Because what does JavaScript hoisting principle refer to? By heart, this is when you declare something and it gets yoinked up to the top.
Yes, and that is functions. So D, declarations are processed before any code is executed. That's what I think.
That's what I think as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
Yeah, and this is B is just bullshit because we know it's the other way around. This is
variable expressions can be used before they are declared. How would that even work? Console log B is 10.
Okay. Damn. Seems like this really is an easy exam. Okay. LCQC.
As we arrive to a JavaScript question.
Easy. Ooh. Yep. Okay. So I know this. I know this one. So we have this this code here. Creates a function which has this.t and this.m bound to the animal, and then there's a function this.getInfo, which console logs the this. So it creates a new animal with Mouse and Jerry. I like how it says and it's Tom and it's not even one of the answers. Then we create a mouse with Jerry, and then we call Jerry.getInfo. So then it calls getInfo on a Jerry, and it console logs this, which is an object with with information on it. Then we take the Jerry.getInfo function, we take the function out of its scope, we put it in our little infofunc variable, and then we call that infofunc. The thing is, infofunc is no longer bound to the animal instance Jerry. Infofunc is now just this function. That gets executed.
Yeah.
So when it's D. So when you execute something, like I can literally press F12 and say this, and it will literally talk about the window.
Well, where does it say the info func? So
the line above it appropriates the get info from the Jerry.
So kind of by design, if something is not bound to like an object and you try to print this and it refers to kind of nothing, then it prints window.
Yeah, actually it wouldn't just print window. This is wrong. it would print console.log this. It would print this stuff. But
would
they
print
thought it
about-
would be a little bit too much to yeah. There's a little
That
thing
would be a
about that.
bad giveaway.
Window object, yeah.
Yeah.
Technically,
just
it
have
does
one of the
also.
answers between
Uh,
10 pages. Just have a multiple choice question. One of the answers is 10 pages long.
like,
and
it
that's
does
actually the
return
correct
P,
answer then as well.
Always guess the longest answer.
Wait,
That's my
why
trick.
why is D and not B?
Which one?
B is the return value. So like, if you type in console log this, it returns undefined, but this isn't undefined. This is Windows, so that's what would be printed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you do console, log info func, it would be undefined.
Actually,
So
if you press F12 and do console log this, you will see that it's. I think if you press enter, at the bottom it will give you an undefined.
yeah, that will. But that's like
return.
the. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
So if you do console log and then the function which returns an undefined, you're gonna console log undefined, but you don't do that.
Well, I mean, if you console log a function, I think it calls the toString method, but actually converts the function into text.
Ah, yeah, that could be as well.
So wait, let's check that out. So we have function a which takes no input and does console log abc.
Yes. Oh, sure.
So we call abc, then we say console.log a, and then you literally get the text. You can do some really funky stuff with this.
You won't be able to do this in your exam, will you?
No. Well, you might. We don't encourage it, and it is fraud. We harshly criticize it. There might be a tracker. You might get get flagged for fraud. You might get kicked off the university. We don't know.
We don't
So
know.
just assume
We do
you're-
not endorse it.
Yeah.
Short answer, just don't.
Just assume you're gonna get kicked off the university.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Which of the following function about JavaScript statements is about JavaScript? Fuck off. Which of the following statements about JavaScript functions is true? It's D. Functions are objects. Functions cannot be passed as parameters. Well, we've seen this works. Functions cannot be
Many
returned
times.
from functions. We've seen this works.
Yep.
Functions cannot be assigned to object properties. We've seen this work.
That work?
Fuck it.
Like a lot.
It gets done here.
This will get info as an object property. Yes.
And functions are objects. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
So the answer is again D. We have D 5 times in a row. Obviously, one of them is wrong. Obviously. How many questions are there?
I think 30 questions.
Oh no. Oh,
We're
no.
halfway. No, we're not.
No, we're
Third,
not.
one third.
How long is the actual exam, by the way?
90
3
minutes.
hours?
Oh no, this one is 90 minutes. I don't know how long that one is.
90 minutes as well.
Okay.
By the way, can you explain this 10th question again, the second part, the window part? Why doesn't it refer to an instance?
Okay, so info this.info get info is just a function. That function resides in memory. This function, when it gets called, looks at what is the current disk that I'm in, and then it executes that, and then it like executes the console log of that disk. It gets really confusing, that disk, but just stay with me for a second. So when we assign that function to a variable, all we have is the same as saying info func is equal to this function. Then when we call that function, it will console log this, and when you are outside of any scope that you've made yourself, this will always be a window. At least if you're not doing Node.js and you're working in a browser. So if you say this, it will be the window.
Okay, thank you.
So everything inherits from window. In the end. Everything kind of inherits from window.
I wouldn't say inherits. Inherits would mean that it has the same properties and stuff.
Well, okay, not inherits, but like comes.
I'm not sure if it will be down the object chain as well.
Just one more question about that. The opening and closing what do you call those? Like brackets at the end. In line 13, at the end you don't see like the haakjes.
Yeah.
And then so that just means it gets get info gets assigned to info func, but it's not executed.
Yeah. So this function here just gets transferred into this variable, and then that variable which contains the function gets executed.
What if we add brackets here?
Where? Here?
Yeah.
Then info func would be undefined because it doesn't return anything.
Oh, right.
Yep. Okay. Which of the following statements about Node.js nature is true? So I remember something about maintaining a pool of threads in order to process IO requests. So I'm pretty sure it's either C or D. And I think the event loop.
It's single
I know it's
thread.
not
It's single thread.
Yeah.
Single.
It's single.
Yep.
This time,
Yeah.
Damn. D.
Yeah, it's D.
Okay.
Hey,
Consider that
can you
HTML. Damn. We have
update
to
it?
compile HTML. HTML
We
isn't
can
Wait,
compiled. We have
can
to
you go
interpret
to the
HTML.
question?
Hmm?
We can
Can
just
you
stop
go-
time at 24 minutes if you just fill in the pattern.
When open in a browser, each click anywhere on the page is supposed to change the background color, alternating between red and blue. Someone accidentally deleted line 17. Oh no! Which of the following snippets will lead to desired behavior? So we need to have a... Okay, yeah, I can already see something is going wrong because there is no on-click. Right now, this thing does absolutely nothing.
Gonna sign
do we
it.
need an event or something?
C isn't C JSON or jQuery or something?
Yeah,
'Cause
C
we
is
were-
J.
You don't
C-
have to learn jQuery.
Yeah, so not only would you guys not know this, but since jQuery
It's
is not
bait.
important here, yeah, we'll get there in a bit. Since jQuery is not important here, this wouldn't even compile because the this function, this is like the jQuery function where you can like pass stuff along and do jQuery stuff with it. However, this just doesn't. Yeah, this doesn't work. This also doesn't work. You can't just say document.html dot and then go on to do your stuff. These are
That
the
would be
proper ways to
amazing,
call it.
though.
It would be sick.
That would be kind of amazing.
It would be, but this is these are these two things are both valid code. So these two would both give an error. These two are valid code. However, this one calls get element by class name body. There is nothing with a class of body. So if this thing would have class as body, then this code would work as well. However, it doesn't. So this code would actually give a also give an error, but that's because unclick is not defined on null.
And because it would be an. Wouldn't it also be an array out of bounds exception since you don't have a array and you're calling it from 0 or a null pointer or something?
Yeah, that could be. That could be actually, yeah. But yeah,
Because you
and then
call
the
the 0th
top,
element of an array, empty array.
yeah.
Whatever.
And then the top one, that one makes sense. It's just get all the elements with the tag name body, and then just grab the first one. So that just makes sense, and that one is
What
the
if
correct
you
one.
what if you wrote get element without s?
It wouldn't compile.
It's not a function.
Yeah, it's not a function. In the same way, like there can be JavaScript actually thought about that. So in the way of naming stuff, you have document. So you have classes and IDs, and the difference is that classes are supposed to be assigned to multiple things. So you have get elements multiple by class name, because multiple things can have a class. In the same way, IDs are only meant to be assigned to one thing. So you can do get element singular by ID. And
I think it's the it's equal, but nothing is happening. What do I do? I can't see or hear the person.
What?
Sounds like
they're
they're
having
having
issues.
issues.
Sign off right now, but I don't see or hear the person. But it is someone has joined.
And you can
Maybe
type in chat.
rejoin your Jitsi call. Might be
I
you
typed in
you're
chat.
getting fucked up.
Nothing is happening.
If you type in chat and nothing happens, they might not like be there yet.
Okay. I guess
I don't know.
They could have left immediately. Maybe is on the queue. Does it say rejected or still pending or something?
It says processing.
Right.
Yeah, then they're supposed to be in the
would
call
just
with
wait.
you.
You probably got sent to another TA.
Either wait or refresh, but we're gonna continue now.
Probably open another window with Jitsi.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if that would.
It would work. The links are just like accessible by anyone. But yeah, so get elements by tag name because multiple elements can have the same tag. You can have multiple TDs or multiple Ps. So you get the first one, then you say the on click of that.
You get the one.
I think, but you can also have multiple elements with the same ID. I think that's.
You can. It's just not valid. Well, it's valid.
You can't access them with
Yeah.
get elements by ID.
Yeah, the thing is,
You
we
can only
actually
access
had
the
that
first
in
one.
our project because we wrote a really bad project a long time ago. But
No, we
it's
didn't. Which project? Damage calc?
Yeah. We used multiple multiple things with the same ID, and what we did is we just got a single element by ID until it returned 0. Yeah, it was really. Don't do that, people. Don't do that.
Don't
Oh,
you have
God.
get elements by ID? Don't you have this?
No, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's not a way to get multiple
My
elements
life
with the
was
same
a
ID
lie.
because there's not supposed to be multiple elements with the same ID.
I was
Anyways, let's
living a
continue
lie.
before we run out of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep
Consider
going.
the HTML document in question 13 once more. Assume the issue on line 17 has been successfully fixed. What happens if the onClick property is replaced by the onKey press? Okay, so we assume the function works properly, so every time a key is pressed on a keyboard, the color changes. No color changes are observed. Let's see. Event requires a particular key event as a function attribute. Ooh.
I think that's.
Actually, no, not really, because on key press gets called with the Oh wait.
Any key, yeah, any key can be pressed and it would execute the function.
Because it's also not on click left mouse, you know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it just selects you any key right, and only when you specify
Yeah,
further
and
which
there's
key
this-
you can test for that.
There's this thing in JavaScript as well where you can say this function takes an argument called argument, and then it console logs the argument, right? So this is our
Yeah,
new
sure.
function. What happens if I do this?
Nothing, undefined.
Exactly, it just returns undefined. Because the argument, it's not there, it's undefined, but it doesn't complain like you expect it would. In like if you use the Java, because
Yeah, it would go argument mismatch.
Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't happen here. You can have an argument that's just empty. Basically, arguments are optional by default. Yeah. Okay. So, it's replaced by the thing. So we know it's not B because there is no longer an onClick.
Yes, I think
So
A.
it's either A or it's D, because onKeyPress is a valid event
And-
type.
And this is a guess, fat dab.
No. I know this. So I just think about it for a bit more. So I think the same thing would happen if you were to pass an argument to something that doesn't need an argument. So if we have this thing that doesn't need an argument and it just prints.
Yeah, then I think it's the same for
It just
on
prints
click.
this, then we can do A 1 2 3, and it will still call it anyways. So that means
A, I think it's A. Then.
yeah, it's A. That means our arguments are not only optional but also
Well, it'd be weird.
They get ignored if you're
yeah,
not
they get
passing
ignored
for
if you pass them while they're not required.
Well, if it's D, then why would onClick not need it, but
It is
onKeyPress
A, not
does
A.
need it?
Yeah, I think you can do
Yeah,
onClick and receive an event as well. Anyway, so
Maybe you can do on-click left mouse button or something. I don't
yeah,
know.
like when you define your
Oh,
onClick function to take an argument, it will also it will pass along the event function, the event that is like that caused the click. I'm pretty sure. And the event has like multiple things added, like the target, which is what you're clicking on. I think again, I've done this once at my job a really long time ago. But yeah. Okay, more JavaScript. Dude, this is all just JavaScript code. It's all of them. It's all of them.
No, there was HTML.
There was one HTML CSS.
exam.
There was also CSS.
Yes.
Oh, poggers, bro.
Jesus, bad.
File system is require file system. File is end.txt. So we define a function reading, which takes an error in the data. If error, throw error, return data. And then this function gets called immediately. What?
No arguments.
Well, I mean, yeah, well that makes sense.
Undefined,
It just okay.
Then
That means that reading is
anonymous
undefined.
function.
So
no, it's not.
reading is the return value of data. Data is undefined because we don't give any arguments here. So reading is undefined. So
Okay.
Oh wait, I see. So now it calls fs.read file with file being end.txt and the callback function being undefined. I'm not sure if it will throw an error when you try to call undefined though.
Wait, so why is so it runs the function, but then why is reading undefined at the beginning?
Because this function takes no argument or takes two arguments. If none of them are passed, both of them are undefined by definition.
By default. Yeah.
Oh, those like brackets not only mean that the function immediately runs, it also mean that those are also like the arguments you
Yeah.
give along with it.
Yeah. In that thing, you could put the arguments if there were arguments you give to it.
So essentially, what we're giving him right now is empty.
Yes, undefined and defined.
And so basically, it just says, alright, well, we do absolute jack shit with this.
Well,
so
not-
reading is now undefined. Also, if undefined is just false because it's not something that evaluates to true.
Right. And
Yeah, and it just returns undefined. So this thing is undefined. So now the question is, either it's this one, or it's this one.
It's B.
It could be B.
42,
It's not.
They really like putting
Why
that
not?
down
No,
somewhere.
it's not B because
Oh,
that
wait,
would
it
mean it
goes
would
console
store.
block reading.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not.
I mean, it may be B because read file. I think it takes the second parameter and assigns the content of file into this reading variable, and the
Read file
content
takes the
is
second thing to be
42.
like a callback function.
Yeah, I think the second thing is the callback function.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
like fs.read file, it takes file and then it puts it into the function reading. How does that work exactly?
It would work. There are multiple languages that work like that. For example, you can dereference a okay, so I could say a function takes 2 arguments and I pass along the ampersand reading in PHP. Then you could just edit the variable even though you're not in that scope or not you don't have access to that exact variable. However, that's not what's happening here. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, what do the inputs in the read file method actually do? Like it gives us a file that we read, and what does reading do there?
This here is a callback, and the callback takes error and data, and then the data, this is where you can process it. So if you here had like var, and this is what I think, by the way, it could be wrong, but if you here had var data, here you say data is equal to, or let's say var file data, and then you say file data is equal to data, which is this one, then you would have a variable with the stuff in it.
Okay.
I think then.
Passing along now.
I think then it may be.
Well, reading is undefined, right? So that
but it
callback
takes the
function.
Yeah, it's either
it
D
doesn't
or
do
A.
anything with the
It's
data.
either D
it
or
takes
A.
the file.
But now the question is, what happens if I do this?
I would
Undefined.
argue it's A because JavaScript isn't even compiled.
Undefined is not a function. I've seen this before, so I know that this is actually what happens.
Yeah.
So,
but does it run the callback function? Of course it runs the callback function. That's the entire point.
yeah,
Well,
like,
or
otherwise it
does it
wouldn't be
have
a
a
callback.
check for it being undefined? It could.
Because the thing is,
Because the Node.js developers might have made an actual optional argument.
That's true.
I don't
but
know
like,
why you would ever use it, but
But like here it says the code does not compile.
Well, what
I
does
don't
read
like
file
not
even do?
I don't think any of this shit is checked on compile time.
well, last time I checked, JavaScript was never compiled.
Exactly. So it would be it would be a runtime error anyways. And what could happen is it actually prints undefined before this thing is done with reading because callbacks are asynchronous.
Yeah.
So I think it actually A and then afterwards it throws an error, but it doesn't show that.
But well, it's declaration. Yeah, I mean
Well,
declaration.
what does read file even do right here? It's
It's a Node.js method to read the contents of a file.
and then it puts it in the.
Yeah, so
No,
usually
it
we
calls
take-
the second parameter with an optional error and optional data.
So it calls undefined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which doesn't
And then it puts it into file.
No, it calls undefined. However, usually this would be a function. Now it's not, so it's going to give an error, namely undefined is not a function. But if this was a callback function, then it would just call that with the error and data, and then you could do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, so we would try to input 42 into undefined, right?
Can
yeah,
you
if
explain
no,
why reading is undefined?
if reading was actually just this function, and instead of it would like, I'm not sure what this return data
It would
do.
still never print the file contents.
Yeah, exactly, because return data here, like, where does it return it? Not into
Well-
this fucking variable, that's for sure.
No, it returns it to the thing. To the place the callback was called.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
this
but the
doesn't take any
variable
return, so it just gets
Yeah.
lost into the void. So it's never 42. Aww.
By the way, how do you figure out how to if something is a callback function?
Hmm?
How do you figure out if something is a callback function?
Any function is a callback function, as long as it's not executed immediately.
Yeah, if you have a function and you can
You can pass it along as a reference to that function, and you can then execute that parameter
Yeah.
at will.
Oh.
But the variable reading is set equal to a function, so I don't understand
Yes,
why reading
look
is
at the last
undefined.
3 characters for the reading function.
On
It's
top
called.
Aha.
So basically, what happens is it creates a function, it calls it, and then the return value of that, namely undefined, is stored into reading.
Yeah.
And then it does that again with file and reading. And so
Nope, because now this is not a function. This is just the undefined. So it does. It tries to
is that a
call
one-time
undefined here,
thing?
which will give an error.
Is that just a one-time thing?
Yeah, this is just a function. That's one-time thing. It gets called and it gets lost into the void, cleaned
it's
up by the
not-
garbage
it's-
collector.
It's not something that you can reuse. It's basically like just assigning a value to a
Yeah,
variable.
it's like I could make a function here. Function a. What it does, it's console.log the input.
Yeah, so it's
Then we have a function here that does something, doesn't get it doesn't get used, so
It needs a name because otherwise it's not gonna work.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, but that makes sense because it's an unnamed
Yeah,
function.
basically this would happen, but now like Javascript actually checked for that, so
And is that if you got rid of the brackets at the end, that makes it execute instantly? Does that still mean it only runs once?
nope.
No.
Here, I'll give an example. So I say T is function A console.log A. So now if I do T ABC, it's gonna print ABC. However, if I say T is console A console.A and then immediately execute it, T is gonna be undefined.
No matter what you fill in.
No matter what you fill in. Well, it's gonna be undefined anyways because it doesn't return anything. It just console.logs, and when you don't return anything, it's gonna be undefined by default.
And you won't be able to change the value unless you.
Well, you can say T is 1, now it's 1.
Yeah, except if you explicitly say T is 1 or.
Yeah, but T is now just literally the value undefined. What happened before with the function doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The function is lost into the garbage collector forever.
So as soon as you got rid of those brackets, then it would work.
Yes and no, because if these brackets weren't there, it would just return the data, but the data doesn't get returned anywhere.
Well, it gets stored in reading, right? And then
No.
No.
Reading is just a function. The function gets called here, it gets executed with. Well, okay, reading would be a function. I'm saying imagine a scenario this is gone.
Oh, and then you have to console log data essentially. Because
Yeah, you'd have to console log data or put it in a variable, but now it just gets returned, and it doesn't do
Right.
anything with the return because it's in a callback scope.
Yeah, this function. Yeah, because so it just gives you the value 0, and then it's like, okay, cool. Now bye.
Yeah, and then just console log reading will always be undefined. We're only worrying now about if it's going to be undefined or requires callback to be a function. I'm going to go with A, and then it's going to crash afterwards because it's asynchronous.
Yeah, that's... Well, it's gonna be 50-50, I think.
Well, we've got to keep this trend though.
Depending on how quickly it reads the file.
Yeah, we have to think about how many milliseconds it takes for the fucking function
No,
to
he
execute.
actually first completes
just
all
me
the
or is
asynchronous
JavaScript a
code and then the
horrible
synchronous
language?
code. So it doesn't depend on the time it takes to read the file, never.
I see.
I think console log is faster to be executed than read file, so it may be in the final.
No. It first completes all the synchronous code, and only after all the synchronous code is completed, it goes through the stack of asynchronous code.
Does it? That sound like it
That
would
sounds
defeat...
really fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, I'm
Why?
almost 100% certain that's not the
It
case
may
because that would
sound
defeat
stupid,
the
but
entire
that's
purpose of
something.
asynchronousness.
Well, asynchronous goes after synchronous because synchronous may complete in matter of milliseconds, and asynchronous may take years or I don't know. So
Yeah, but if you have like
asynchronous
here
is
a
all
while
done.
loop, if I have like a while true here that just that just like does nothing or just wastes computer power, then this thing is gonna finish before that other thing is done.
No, it's gonna give you an error and never even start doing the read file, the synchronous stuff.
I'm not sure about that. Let's check it.
You can Google.
Yeah, let's check it like right now.
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it, I'm down.
Actually, do it in Node.js though. Don't do it in your browser.
Can we just
Oh,
copy paste this thing
good
and fill
point.
it in your console? Can't you just execute this thing?
Well, it's Node.js, so no. Well, you can execute it with Node. But...
Probably gonna get caught for fraud if you do that, but...
Yeah, no, but I'm just for now. We're just gonna...
Gigabrain.
Yeah, I also remember.
Or can I just say vi app.js and then execute that with Node?
Yeah, you could.
Fuck, I don't have vi installed on my computer. Obviously, I don't. So I go to
By the way,
desktop.
you can't go through the transcripts either, right? Can you? Because it'll probably track you as well, or not?
How would
Yeah,
they track you?
Well, didn't you guys just tell me there was a tracker in the transcripts?
Yeah, but it's got blocked by adblock.
You can just quote everything in the transcripts.
You
Okay, so
could,
we,
but if they did
But like
find out,
fraud, so don't do that.
yes.
Yeah,
and
no, of
if they did
course.
find out, you're kicked off the university.
So let's first call a timeout on a
get caught
function.
If you download the
How do
material,
you even
then
know
it's
it's
fine.
being blocked?
So we define a new function here and then call it after a full second. Okay, so let's here do console.log abc. So this is asynchronous code, and then we execute a whole bunch of synchronous code now. That just
So while true.
yeah, but what do we
just
do within while
keep
true?
all
Or just
While true.
while true 1 plus 1.
yeah, let's do like t equals 1.
No,
Let's do
just
this
1
after,
plus
like,
1.
Like literally just let it execute stuff.
No, I want something a little bit computationally intensive anyway. So it's I'm gonna
I
say
think you can even make it 0 in set timeout and still it would not complete.
we'll see. I am curious now. So let's say t is t times t. So now we're calculating all the powers of 2.
That's gonna get kind of.
Yep. So now I can
No,
see.
you're not calculating the powers of 2, actually.
Why not?
Because you're multiplying it by itself.
Yeah,
You're
excuse me.
squaring 2 every time.
Yeah. So let's see. What the fuck? You're right. Wow, I
Why
did
the
not know
fuck
that.
does Node not just use threading here?
Yeah, but it
Why
doesn't.
does it not just spin off a second
Single
thread
thread.
doing it?
Maybe
AC
stop the
stuff?
code before it goes too far.
No, it won't.
It doesn't matter.
No,
Like this stuff is so fast. I can say console.log t, and we'll see how fast this is.
Infinity.
Oh,
Yeah.
What a flex.
Yeah. It goes up here, 4, 6, blah blah blah, infinity. It
What
can
level
store
is that?
powers up to like 10 to the power 154. That's like quite impressive actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
it goes
okay.
to 307 digits or something.
Nice. But
Like,
alright,
that's
that's cool
very
to know. So it first executes this stuff before it starts printing the file, so it's gonna print undefined, so to say.
I have found yet another reason to hate Node and JavaScript in general.
Ooh, I am curious though, if I execute the same code in my browser, what would happen?
You get flagged for.
Oh, the limit is 2 to the power 53.
Yep, it doesn't. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
That was going real fast.
Okay, it's gone. Okay, so yeah, we know it just executes everything in the synchronous, or in the yeah, that's synchronous before it starts working on asynchronous. That's good to know.
So basically, async stuff is just delay it till after sync stuff.
Yep.
That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, but but synchronous stuff will usually not take that long.
Hopefully.
Guys, my page froze.
No.
It's also just a PDF file as well. That's like
You just
okay.
closed it. Fucking yeeted it.
Ctrl Shift A. Ctrl Shift A.
Oh, guys, we lost our progress. Oh wait, it's paper.
No.
I wonder what question we were on.
Yeah.
Something with a 1 and a 6, I think.
Okay, so we figured out it's A.
What code we
Hopefully.
had 15 again?
Consider the following Node.js script, save in bar.js. The script is started on localhost with the following command, node bar.js.
Very cool.
I
know this one.
Require express, require URL, require HTTP, port, app, it creates a server, it lists this to the port, it sends a bunch of stuff. So doc.html, HTML head style. So a body gets a background color, and then it just closes everything off. So I think this all so far is just valid HTML code. Then when you go to somewhere /star, it
Anywhere.
will parse the URL. Query. Oh yeah, okay. They'll parse the URL and look at the query, then see if the query is
Defined for C. Or has a C.
okay. If it's okay, yeah. So by default it will be red. Otherwise it will be query C. So what this code does is it executes this check first, and if it's true, it will do this. So if query C is not undefined, it will do query C. Otherwise, it will do this. This is weird notation, but it's like an inline if. I think it's called something like that.
Yeah, one line if.
Yeah, now you know. So then it says resit prefix HTML plus C plus suffix HTML. So it's going to call this with whatever the hell you put in here. This is a great way to demonstrate XSS, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, you can just send a link with query C. It will close off the style tag and it will open up a script tag, and you can execute a JavaScript on the guy who opens the link.
Whoa.
Yeah. The following URLs are pasted into the address bar. How many times will the returned page be rendered red? So /blue, C is blue, C is blue, and C/blue. So assuming URL.parse only parses valid URLs, the so let's see.
I would say it gets turned red on the top one and on the bottom one.
And this one as well.
I think that maybe I'm not sure, but because there's no question mark, I think it's just gonna go, what the frack is this guy in the URL, and just like
I think
send the not
No,
valid
it's
route.
just gonna see it as a path.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna.
There's
have
no
equal
reason you
marks
can't
in
have an
path.
equal sign in a path.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
3 times.
That's completely
3 times.
valid.
Yeah, I think it might be that equal signs are HTML encoded. I'm not sure.
I don't think
Is
it's
it
the top one because it
70s
doesn't even have a C.
rewriting the code?
No, but
See,
if it doesn't have a C,
Obviously, the only time query C will be defined is this one. That's for sure.
Yeah, so look at it this way. Yeah, the only valid one, the other ones are false. So 3 times.
Yeah, the thing is, we have to see if there's like this, but at the same time, these are both exactly the same.
It always
so
gets
it will
handled in the
always go
first
to the top
one.
one.
Only the first one is gonna run.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 3 then.
3 times. Yeah.
Right. So which one runs and which one doesn't?
The
What did you
first
say?
one.
the first one that's
Which
defined.
Which one works and which one doesn't?
This one.
Uh,
So
No,
the-
of the two functions.
oh yeah, the top one, the first one that defined.
Yeah, that one doesn't work because it doesn't have a C, right? Because the top one doesn't work because it physically doesn't have a C in it, right?
Yeah, but like even if it did, if it was like one of these two, it also wouldn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's not a query in the bottom two.
Yeah,
The C is
exactly.
not
There
a
is no query, so
Oh.
query C is undefined, so it will be red. This is the only one with a valid
So why
query
you need a
syntax.
question mark?
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
So,
next one.
But I see 2 times reference with an asterisk. That second time, then it says not a valid route. Will that never happen?
Nope.
No.
It
No,
will
'cause
always get
all
called by this
other
one.
routes already get handled in the statement above it.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
While in question 16, the whole HTML document was served via the server-side script. Now the goal is to serve only serve the random caller via WebSocket. A client can connect through the WebSocket protocol to the server and request a randomly generated caller an unlimited amount of times. The server-side
That sounds
script
bad.
looks like this. Yeah, it does. So we create an app, we listen on the port, we create a WebSocket server from the other server, we generate a random caller, blah blah blah. What does line 13 have to look like for this script to achieve its goal? So we have 4 options, and this is like, so it's between creating a new WebSocket server and the declaration of the code. And then remember, functions get hoisted, so it doesn't matter that get random RGB is called before that.
Mm-hmm. We just need a message on message.
I think it's D. Just straight up because of syntax. Like I've fucked around so much with this on the thing that I'm thinking I'm recognizing the syntax from D.
But
I know for a fact that it's probably not this one.
They can say that they
Why
can.
not? Why not?
Because what happens at the first one is what you want to do is you want to create the WebSocket and give the WebSocket a event handler. So with the last one, what you do is you have the WebSocket and say, if the WebSocket gets a message, do this. And with the first one, you say, if the current event that's going on is a message, that gets run once. That's it. Never again.
Yeah, and I actually also it's never WebSocket server on message, because you don't send a message to the WebSocket server. You send a message to your WebSocket connection.
Yeah.
So this never happens. However, I think it depends. What is it? It says to achieve its goal. So
Unlimited
when-
number of times. So not just once the socket is created, but
see.
forever.
Okay, so I was thinking exactly what Carl was saying. So I thought maybe it should only on the connection create one and then just nope out of there. But
Yeah, that's what you would do.
Yeah, but now as they say, a client can connect through the WebSocket protocol to the server and request a randomly generated caller a limited number of times. So you can indeed use let's see, so that would be this one.
Hey. I still have nightmares about handling the disconnecting player issues.
So and again,
It's not that bad. Just listen on disconnect. Or
No,
on close, I mean.
I did. Trust me, it got dirty.
Okay, which of the following statements about IOX and WebSocket are true? IOX provide a low latency and bidirectional connection between the client and server. False.
The fuck is IOX?
Dit is een typische club, nee.
Oh no!
No, I don't watch football before people start attacking me. Okay, so IOX is not bidirectional. IOX is just a request and that gets answered. IOX requires the use of an XML
I think
data exchange format. I think that might be true, yeah.
I thought it didn't use
I
it.
love how
No,
there's no
AJAX uses
implication.
HTML, I think. Or JSON, I
I'm
think.
pretty sure AX doesn't use XML.
I think it can use XML, but I don't think it's
I think it
required.
requires it. Yeah,
Can,
okay.
but
I
it
see.
does
I
not.
see. I love how there's no option where 3 is true.
Yeah, it's just false.
Yeah.
What?
And in contrast to IOX, WebSocket do not require entire HTTP messages to be sent between client and server, thus reducing the overhead.
This looks. Yeah, this I think it's true.
Yeah, this is true because there's no need for HTTP messages. You just literally send the bytes of your message to the WebSocket.
Yeah. The only problem is that
For initialization, though,
maybe-
you do need the entire message.
Yeah,
Like,
okay, but
you know-
like it's just everything in general.
think
I don't think it's
for-
just about the.
You know it's true because
true.
if you look at the answers, it's only 2 and 4 and only 4. So if it wasn't 4, like they never do it in the way that it can be that if there's one relying on 2 of them, it's going to be false. They never do. I've never in my life seen a question which does that. So
I mean,
you can
at the same time,
practically-
we we know that 2 is false then because AX doesn't require it, as you guys just said.
then it's
Use baseline as well.
So it's either C or D. Because it
But I
could be
mean,
that they're all false.
Yeah,
But I think we said that
It's C.
it's this
over
one.
C.
So
But also,
C
if
could be.
you look up in this document a little bit, we have
By
a
the way,
quick
was
word,
there a way to
one
make-
and 3 or 3, 2 and 4 or 4? So that's the case when the double thing is false. Because the other case.
The next question looks interesting. Let's go there.
The next one looks interesting. Let's go there. Okay.
Tic-tac-toe. Interesting.
Consider the following tic-tac-toe game interface. The black border around the interface and marks the page boundary. You can ignore it for the purpose of the following CSS questions. In the game interface consists of 9 tiles, A1 to C3. Hovering over the mouse of a tile, move the tile slightly to the top right of its original position, and it also receives a red border. Once the hovering stops, the tile takes up the original position and appearance again. That's so sick because they can hover here and it'll do, or here. It'll
There, yeah.
Anyways, the corresponding document looks as follows. Blah blah blah. CSS bullshit.
I mean, it doesn't matter what it is because missing CSS is in comments, so the CSS will be in comments. Big brain.
Ooh.
Fair enough.
And here we have multiple things with data IDs and a bunch of classes. Oh, code developed for the CSE 15 midterm reset. Oh, thank you so much.
That was very much necessary.
Yes. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff, and this just applies to the classes. For the people who don't know, these are IDs, not classes. Ignore this.
Yeah.
I actually struggled with this until I started doing the projects as well. I just went by them every single time, but now I just know that a dot is a class.
Yeah.
Okay, so dot tile. So let's see. This is the original one. This is what they're doing, and they have. Oh, so we're doing this one. Well, we know for a fact that the width and height px50 are correct. So the only thing we have to worry about is either clear being both or left, and float being left or right. Well,
Or none.
Or oh, left, right, or none. Excuse me. So I'm pretty sure it's float left, because everything here sticks to the left side of the screen. Otherwise, it would have stick to the right side of the screen. I don't know. It just kind of makes sense.
I mean, it could be standard.
Can you show HTML again?
Yeah, what elements were it?
They're divs.
Divs, okay.
So it's either, let's see. So you guys were also wondering about float none. We know it's not float right because then it would be floating to the right. So it's either this one or this one.
So
Just look at the clear then, I guess.
It's gonna be B, because divs are blocks by default, I think, and not inline.
Yes.
So they would all be on separate lines if they weren't floated.
Yeah, that's true. If float with none, then they would probably be in separate lines indeed.
Clear was the room around the element that you left open, right?
I think that's padding or margin. I'm not sure though.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
sure
clear
what clear does exactly.
basically clear fixes that it doesn't go float inside of each other. Because I think the new line is just like around the divs or in between them, one of the
And
two.
why do we know that it's both and not left?
Doesn't really matter.
Well, then how do we decide if it's B or C?
Because we know it's float left, not float none.
Okay.
And if
Float
you
none,
look-
everything would be underneath of each other.
Clear on the left.
Why is it float left? Because that means it's gonna be pushed to the right, isn't it?
No, to the left.
To the left. It says so in the name.
No, yeah, but it's reverse, isn't it?
No.
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 Oh, which one is that then?
That's padding.
Is that where like?
Padding is also not reversed.
Padding is also not reversed. I don't know what you guys are
The
all about.
directions in CSS are just right.
Yeah.
They're never wrong, I think.
When I went to the transcript and the CSS, it was like, yo, if you move it from the top, it goes downwards. If you move from the bottom, it goes upwards. If you move.
Oh yeah, that's like the
Oh, I
padding.
think yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
distance
that
from
depends
top,
how
from
you look
left
at
and
it.
stuff.
It's like if you have a value that's absolute and you do top 20%, it puts a padding of 20% on the top, so it moves down. But that's not just a code that moves it down by 20%. That's a code that adds 20% of padding to the top. So top just, it makes sense.
So what does the float here then?
The float here makes sure that it's not like all on different lines. So you float them all like leftward onto each other, so that they.
Yeah, so you align them basically.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why the new line clear is there to make them not all float inside of each other.
Yeah, and like
because they don't
they wouldn't
take up
float inside of
any-
each other, I don't think, but they would like all be.
They don't take up vertical space if they're floated.
I think they would just all overflow into the right side here, wouldn't they?
Depends on where it is, but the thing with float is it doesn't take up vertical space anymore.
But also in the case.
Which is why you put a container with clear around it.
In the case of clear left, wouldn't you get different size because you only clear for left?
I'm not sure.
I don't know what it's clearing even.
Thing is, I didn't see this in the lectures for clear.
No, me neither.
I think they just kind of expect us to know the entirety of the CSS properties from our head.
Yeah, they just put required readings, learn CSS from MDN.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and
I
in
think
the
they
meantime-
meant with that just learn the entirety of MDN.
Yeah, but to be fair,
Oh my
clear
God.
is a basic CSS.
I think
we should know that.
the clear property specifies on which side. So
I'm gonna be honest. I have been doing web development as my job for like months, almost a year now. I've never used Clear.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it's kind of old.
float is usually a bad idea, and no one does so.
Yeah. Whatever. We'll
I
go
mean,
on.
better
We know it's
solutions
B.
to it now.
Let's just look
Let's
it up, I
continue.
guess, if we're not sure. Maybe.
Consider the tic-tac-toe interface in the question of 19 again. Assume the layout of the tiles is correct. Which of the following CSS snippets added at the end of the current CSS rules achieves the desiring hovering effect?
Wait, just a second. Why is the float why did you put the float as going to the left? Because the tile's going to the top right, right?
Well, they don't necessarily go into the top because oh wait, okay, you're thinking about this thing. The float is about all of these.
What the hell?
The float is just that
Yeah,
they
it's
that
not
they
the
all
floating of the tiles when you hover over it. That's something else.
yeah. This is like hover. So that's what we're doing now. In the previous question, it's just all of these without any of the hover effects. They just go to go to the left. Okay. So when you hover over them, and this is what the other guy was saying with the negative 5px, positive 5px. So what we want to do is we want to put 5 pixels padding on the left side and 5 pixels padding on the bottom side as well. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
it's padding or margin. I think padding.
It's padding. It's padding.
Okay. Hey, I said it right. Woo!
It's not necessarily padding. It's just moving it.
That's actually margin, I think.
Padding is inside the border, and we see the border is
Yeah,
stick
yeah,
to
sorry.
the
Yeah.
element. So.
Oh damn
But
it!
it's not margin or padding here. It's just moving it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Padding would be.
But it's adding like a. Let's just say it's padding. It's padding
yeah.
5 pixels of invisible space at that point, so we know that it gets moved upwards by that amount.
So it needs to be A, right?
You're just moving.
So it's either A or C, and we'll have to figure out what it is.
I don't think
So
it's absolute, right? Because
position relative and position
No,
absolute.
not
I think
absolute.
position absolute actually puts like it takes it out of the context,
yeah,
and it's just gonna put it somewhere. So
In the
if you have a
top-
position
in the top-
absolute here, it would just.
in the top right angle.
Questioning the IDC thing.
What
is
IDC thing or?
Yeah, C is
That's
an ID
not
here.
C.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
that's
C
ID.
anyways because it's like hashtag
Yeah.
tile instead of
Yeah,
dot
but I'm
tile.
pretty sure if it was absolute, it would like take it out of like it would basically
Yeah.
take away
Yeah.
spot, and everything would just be.
Yeah.
Absolute to be in the
Depends
bottom
if the parent is.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
If
we know
it
we know
goes
it's
to
A.
the
Yeah,
first
that's
set position in the hierarchy. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
absolute does.
Okay, consider the
Another
tic-tac-toe interface. The question 19 again. I skipped one.
You skip one.
Consider the tic-tac-toe again. Assume the layout of the tiles and hovering effect work as intended. Which of the blah 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 will result in a labeling of each tile, i.e. the top left tile is labeled A1, etc. So it's not this one. We've come that far because it's at the stand. We know color white is the thing. The thing is, so we do either tile top left, either tile after, or tile this. I think it's
Top left is
tile.
not a thing.
Yeah, this is not a thing. This doesn't.
I don't think
affect
you
any...
can set that necessarily.
Yeah, I don't think you can set content on a non-pseudo element.
Yeah, I think that can only work on after, before, etc.
Yeah, so I think the answer is just.
I think content also works with that.
It does.
Does it?
After and before.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it works.
But yeah, even then, this is probably just the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean A should work at least.
Yeah, I know for
B
a fact A
should, I
works.
think B would also work then if you can set
I know
content
for a
on it.
fact that B works and that A works and maybe B works.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go with A.
A would put the label after the element.
No. You have like.
Actually, yeah.
Wait.
It might.
No.
Because it's not getting positioned. So it's not positioned
like,
inside of it.
Yeah, but like if you can see here, there's nothing inside of the div. So if there was like A here, it would be before, A after. But because there's nothing here, it will just put after
in the
directly
div.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
there's
should work
nothing
then.
to be after or before. So it will just put it at the first place it can. So it's A here.
So double.
I'll put a question mark behind it so we can look at it once we're checking.
Yep.
Consider the tic-tac.
It certainly isn't B because that would override like the previous design for tile.
Oh no, it was the add-on.
It adds on, yeah.
Yeah.
What on what?
On the other property set on tile.
Yeah, we had another property set on tile here. But if you have multiple things, it would just add on it. It's not like a variable where it just overrides it.
Maybe if you do dot tile, it doesn't reset after you stop hovering over it.
Yeah, but if it was.
I don't think. Wait, no. Wait, for which
Different
question was this? For this one, right?
21. 21.
21.
But 21 has nothing to do with hovering, right?
No.
21 savage.
Oh wait,
Oh,
no,
the
I'm
hovering one
stupid.
was,
Never mind.
Okay, we'll just continue on to the next one. We only have 30 minutes left, but at the same, or 23 minutes left, but at the same time, we spend a lot of time explaining stuff to others because our course
And we're
doesn't
also
fucking
almost
do it.
done.
So
True. Okay.
Consider the tic-tac-toe interface. Assume the layout of the tiles, the hovering effect, and the labeling works intended. Which of the following CSS snippets will color the board as follows? B1, C1 retain their original color, and the remaining tiles are red. Not new line. Ooh, okay. So yeah, there's a few things going on here. So this will give both main and everything that is not new line, I think.
Yes.
That does not have
This will
exactly.
give the main that is not a new line. Well, we know for a fact that main is not a new line, so it's just gonna give everything
file?
within main that stuff.
What do you mean with main new line? Exactly.
What is even a new line?
Okay, wait, I'll show.
It's a class.
Yeah, they have a class new line
Oh,
for these two
okay.
things, and they basically want everything except for these two that is in main to have that. So there's a few options here. They do not new line, but the issue with this one is that everything will get a black background color, and we know for a fact here that the border around it, so this stuff was not red background. And
Okay, so-
same
oh.
goes here because we can see the white lines in between it.
Oh, so then it just takes everything that's not new line.
Yeah, everything within main that is not new line. So we have this is everything that is not new line indeed. So this is everything. This is wrong. This is both main and everything that's not new line. This is wrong.
I think
this is the main that is not new line. This is wrong. This is
D.
everything within main that does not have new line. So I think this
Yeah.
one is right.
Yeah, D.
Yeah.
Okay. Consider the tic-tac-toe interface again. What
Holy
happens?
shit! Can you shut the fuck up? About
Please shut the fuck up about tic-tac-toe. Consider
What?
the tic-tac-toe interface.
So the only difference between C and D is a space?
Yeah, there's a space here, and this says the main that is not new line, and this is everything in main that is not new line.
Poggers, bro.
Yeah, you can also use
okay.
use the opening bracket here. That says everything that is a direct child of main that is not new line. However, we just want everything within main because everything already is a direct child of main, so it doesn't really matter at all.
Yeah, if you had a tile in a tile, then it matters.
Okay. What happens when the following CSS rule is added at the end of the currently existing CSS rules? Everything has the visibility of hidden. Lushu!
Shit, loser.
Visibility is... I think... I'm pretty sure that's like a valid CSS property.
It is, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. As we have not defined a single HTML document with class or ID star.
That would be dot star or hashtag
That star is just anything, right?
Yeah.
Anything, right?
Stars everything in the file. Yeah.
If
For
only
every
the
element.
HTML would be the case. Only the HTML elements found within header and footer will remain visible. No, that would be main
Dot star.
space star or main opening bracket star. Just the entire web page will be blank.
I think so as well.
D.
It's
Yeah.
answer D. Entire webpage Lushu.
Lushu. Which of the following statements about cookies are true? Fuck it, guys. Fuck it. Fuck it. Now we're testing it. We're testing it.
Chauve.github. That deserves dying.
Yes, just put it in there.
Why do you want to test now? Why?
So we go to the head. We go to a. Damn it! They don't do inline thing. Okay, let's add a style
I
sheet.
would not have expected.
Yeah, well, now they do.
Now they
You
do.
could have also just added it in your style editor.
You
But
could
okay.
just add it as a style to HTML. Yeah.
Okay, and now we save this. Lushu.
Lushu.
No, this page looks a lot better, honestly.
Like it should have been.
The amount you can learn is finally reasonable.
Yeah. Okay. Which of the following statements? are-
Honestly, the amount you could actually learn from that web page didn't change at all from that.
It's just a const.
I
Which
mean,
of the following
const
statements
of
about
zero.
cookies are
the whole
true?
website is just a reference to other materials for learning.
Yeah. Which of the following statements about cookies are true? Transient cookies remain intact after the browser is closed. They are stored on disk. The HTTP only flag requires cookie to be sent via HTTP instead of HTTPS. Wrong. The signed flag allows the client and server to exchange cookies that are encrypted. Wrong. A cookie's domain field determines the domain the cookies are associated with.
Yeah.
So it's either this. Okay, yeah. So it's
Yeah,
either
it's
1 and 4
disk.
or only 4. And since
But yeah,
One and four.
I
There's
think
not an
one,
option
it's
on
not stored on
one.
disk. I think it might be stored in memory instead of disk.
no,
Yeah, transient gets deleted once you close your browser.
yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. So transient Like that's the other one. Persistent cookies are
Okay. Well, can you explain why 2 and 3 are
Yeah,
false?
I was about to do that. So HTTP only, actually, instead of saying they cannot be sent via HTTP, HTTPS, blah blah blah, has nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. So what this actually does is it makes sure that the JavaScript cannot access the cookies. So if I had cookies here, I could say document.cookies. And these are the cookies that are not HTTP only. And there's also signed cookies, so you can do document.sign, blah blah blah. But basically, JavaScript cannot access the cookies if they are HTTP only. That's the only thing. And the sign flag, and now this is important, the sign flag allows the client and server to exchange cookies that are encrypted. No, encrypted means that they can be like retrieved and that they are not visible in plain text. The cookies are still visible in plain text. They just have a HMAC appended to them, so that you can actually make sure that it's still what the original owner wanted them to be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show this real quick in here. And like I was usually against opening this, but like I already know the answer. This is just to show you guys. I opened CSS, didn't I? To show you guys why it's true. So it is about the sign flag here. So the sign value would be the thing dot and then a base 64 encoded HMAC. And this is just to make sure that what is here, if you base 64 encode it and add a secret value, you get this again. So it's not encrypted because you can still see it in plain text. It's just verified with this HMAC, so you cannot change it.
So it's signed.
I guess it would be, yeah.
Wow.
So the answer is only 4.
Okay.
A lot of D's again.
Hmm?
A lot of D's again.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like this study.
Which of the following statements about third-party cookies are true? I'm gonna take a real quick sip of water because my throat is starting to hurt because I'm very loud.
Well, the third one is wrong because it's physically not the answer, so you can skip that one.
Another one of those.
Yeah, 3 is just nope, you don't do that.
Which of the following statements about third-party cookies are true? Third-party cookies pose a security threat to the browser as they enable execution of code transmitted via the cookie's content field. Holy shit! Imagine.
Technically true, but why would you ever execute the cookies.content?
Anyway, guys, welcome to my code
eval cookies.content.
Eval document.cookie. Oh damn it! My browser is hacked. Okay, no, this is just bullshit. Third-party cookies and first-party cookies are stored in different cookie storage spaces in the browser. Nope.
No.
They're just in document.cookie or wherever the browser stores them.
Oh, the answer is
Third-party cookies belong to the same domain as shown in the browser's address bar. Nope.
I already watched this. I didn't watch it, but I already did the exam.
Okay. So third-party cookies are set via the set cookie response header. Well, that's true. Benno. Hello. Thank you. Yeah, so what happens here is you your browser makes a request via like an iframe or something that's like imported or whatever, and that request
Like, not in like sense like what's his face, but like why the fuck is he doing so much for us?
I'm what?
Good question, but I think you want to be muted.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is very nice that he does so much for us, though. Thank you. We appreciate it.
I am so confused. I didn't even understand what she was saying, but what? It's this. Oh, it's LD.
The correct answer. Don't worry.
So could you real quick explain what the difference is between third-party cookies and first-party cookies?
So first-party cookies are, imagine when you go to shelf.github.io. I know, bad case scenario, but whatever, we'll go with it. Then the shelf.github.io has a set cookie header where they say, okay, set the cookie to this. Third-party cookies are when you go to shelf.github.io and you load an ad from Google, and Google says, set this cookie for us. So third-party cookies are not in.
So first-party cookies are sent by the site directly.
Yeah, they are sent by the website you are currently on, and then third-party cookies are sent by other like things either in like iframes or like another way you make a request to them. I think.
Yeah, but from the browser's perspective, there's no difference.
Yeah, from browser perspective, it's no different. This is just an abstraction upon cookies. Question 26. A session-based system authenticates a user to a web application to provide access to one or more restricted resources. To increase security for the end user, an authentication token should be sent via the file transfer protocol.
Yes.
Yes.
No. To increase.
Most definitely should.
Yeah.
To increase security. This is okay, guys. This reads like a fucking Cards Against Humanity game. To increase security for the end user, an authentication should be base64 encoded. That won't win, guys. Who have played this one? Okay, just for the people who don't understand how not secure base64 is, we're gonna go to base64decode.com. Or
It's
yeah, this
encode.
one. So
Yeah,
we'll say super secret password. Hey, there we go. It's encoded. It looks super weird. There's no way it's gonna be encoded. Then we go to base64
This is a
decode.org.
hackathon moment.
It's actually a website. Then we decode. Oh, man!
Oh my god, he did
damn it!
Someone should generate
they
a
do a
Cards
super
Against
secret.
Humanity hack from the
Think of
end
base
term.
64. No one's
We're
that.
so close to achieving security.
We were this close to achieving security.
You know,
Okay.
I really think sessions should be stored in a persistent cookie. That will definitely increase security.
Wait, but encoding is
I think it's a new
encoding
thing.
is like
Security by
never.
security.
You need to encrypt something if you want to keep it safe, right?
Yeah,
Encoding
you,
is
you can also
rejection.
hash something, but then it's like extra safe. But basically, for the people who don't understand it, hashing is one way. So you can't just hash something and then just get the value back. You can, but you need to create a rainbow table, which is every single hash possible, and then just hope there's a collision, or hope there's no collisions. So 4 is wrong, 1 is wrong. Well, then we know by definitions too.
Yeah.
So it should be stored in a non-persistent cookie, and to provide some more feedback, if it's stored in a persistent cookie, that would mean that when you close the browser and open it up again, for example, on a library computer from the public library.
What library computers? What have library computers done wrong to you?
Yeah, no. No,
It's
but,
always library.
They told me where the books were, so I had to actually get them.
True.
but yeah, they just you want your browser cookies all to be gone, or at least the important ones to be gone when you close your browser, so you have to make them non-persistent.
Yeah.
27. Which of the following statement best describes a cross-site request forgery attack? Ha! I knew what it meant. Big gamer. Nerd. Untrusted data is sent to an interpreter as part of a command. No. That's like injection of some kind. A web application takes untrusted data and sends it to the client without input validation. Nope. A user's login and password information is sent unencrypted over the network. That's fucking stupid, but also no. A client authenticated to a particular domain sends a forged HTTP request, which includes the session cookie.
I think it's
Could be it.
Yeah, that's probably
D
it.
is the one which I'm most unsure about that it's not. So it's probably
So it's probably D.
Yeah, you'll see they both contain the word forge, so it's obviously D.
Yeah, I'm digging this guy. So cross-site request forgery. I've actually applied this a few times, but it's like I forgot to learn the actual
Alright.
proper definition.
Just be careful not to incriminate yourself.
Oh no!
I have-
We did CTFs.
I have applied this a few times. My boss, please don't watch this back now.
Request on the site that I tried to hack.
Hmm?
Of course, on request of the site that I tried it on because they wanted to see if it was.
Yeah.
We've got 9 minutes. Let's go. 28.
No, we got 8 minutes.
8 minutes. Let's go. 28.
What does an attacker require to
anybody have
succeed in
extra
a
time?
reflected XSS attack? So there's a difference between, I think it was server-hosted and reflected XSS attacks. So let's see. The attacker needs to be able to drop HTTP requests. What the fuck? The web application that is not relying on HTTPS but HTTP instead.
No.
A network eavesdropping device. What?
What the
Vulnerable
fuck?
server that takes part of the URLs it receives and generates out without validating the received data. I love these because you don't have to actually know anything. You just have to, like, the first thing that doesn't sound dumb.
Can we just have an exam full of this?
Yeah, like, can we just have this question 25 times?
If you get it wrong, then bro.
If you get it wrong, you deserve the one. Which of the following statements about Node.js module system are true? Node.js has a file-based module system. Node.js runs each module in a separate scope and only returns the final value of the module it exports. The
yes.
require module runs asynchronously. And
Yeah.
the module it exports and exports can be used in exactly the same way.
No.
Wrong.
This one sounds like a lot of bullshit. So it's this one is wrong and this one is wrong. Therefore, it's either this one or this one. So if we can find, we know for a fact 2 is true then. Haha, dude, we are so like Stefan would be fucking proud of us. If you see us, Daddy Stefan, we are doing RNL in this bitch.
Yeah, that's why we take RNL first. So
Exactly.
We
take RNL so we can brute force our fucking question.
Did you guys
That's
in the
why-
previous question say that the module you ran on a file-based system? With the well then wouldn't it be just one? So A or
Can you do 2 modules in the same file?
I don't think so.
No,
Then
because
it's one.
module
No,
that
it's one.
exports is on the file.
It's one. Yep.
Yeah, because that was what we had the question with the fucking numbers and the 2 names.
That wasn't a Node.js module. That was a JavaScript module.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Or
wait,
ES6
it
module.
says asynchronously, so it's not 3. It runs synchronously, like the require model, like because
Yeah.
it's not blocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not blocking, so it's 1
Yeah.
and 2.
Well, the require module runs asynchronically. If it would not be blocking, then this would be true, but it's false.
Yeah, it is blocking.
So it is blocking. Yeah, because you cannot execute further code if you don't have the one of the variables set that could be used in further code.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
It is blocking, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 30. Let's go.
Last one. Okay. Okay, guys.
We can actually make this.
This is actually really easy, but only if you have done regex before. So consider the following 2 routes defined in the Node.js application.
Oh, I know the answer.
How many following URLs will lead to the yes response? So it has to have TUD.
There's
it has
0
to end
or
with
1.
CSE 150, and there
And
can
anything
be
after that.
there can
There
be
can be 1 character after it, right?
Yep.
It can be anything.
Yeah,
where
that
the
can be
star
anything.
is, right?
Yeah.
That can be
So
like a
plus
million
means
zeros.
one. Plus means 1 or more characters after this. Star means 0 or more characters after that.
And question mark means 0 or 1, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
question mark
like
0 is 1.
automatically. Like I guess that gets absorbed into the star, right?
Yeah, like the question mark and the star, they go together with what is before that in the brackets.
Yeah, but isn't the plus that it can only be the thing that's in front of it? So
Yes.
Yes, it
yeah,
can
so
only
it can
have
only
one
be
zero.
an infinite zeros or no zero or like 2
Oh,
zeros.
Yeah,
one
unless
or
they're
more
brackets.
zeros.
Yeah. Okay, so right off the bat, this one doesn't match because there's no 150.
Yeah.
This one doesn't match because there's no 150. Like everything that is in here without any optional things, anything else, it has to be in there.
Does
this
the
one doesn't
star
match, this one
latch
doesn't match.
To the last group?
Mhm.
Like, does the star after the question mark?
Yeah.
Does it apply to the capture group before it, or?
I am not sure. I don't think
The
so.
star
It
is a
always
wild card,
applies
so it doesn't
before.
matter. Star can be anything.
Yeah.
Genuinely doesn't matter.
Random shit.
Yeah. So it's So this 0 plus. Does that mean that there can be 1 or more
Yeah.
zeros
Yeah,
after
1
it?
or more.
So
Yeah, I
then
think
this
it-
works. This works.
Yeah.
However, let's see. TUD.
The S is from
So
star.
this is. I think both of these work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think the capture rule has some characters inside. Like you can't left these brackets empty, for sure.
Hmm.
You can't like the characters in these brackets. It has to have something like it can be.
No,
empty.
it can be empty because question mark.
Yeah,
it can be
actually,
0 or 1.
okay. Yeah, that's what I'm not sure about. But-
Yeah, question mark 0 or 1.
And the
Okay.
plus sign, can that also be 0? Or it has to
No,
at least be
it's 1 or more.
And
Yeah. If you guys aren't
it's
sure
a-
about something, there's this thing called regex 101.
but you can't
Yeah,
use
you
it during
just
the
enter
test.
Yeah, you can't use it during the test, but like mess
Not
around
during
with
the
it a bit
test,
before the test.
obviously, but
Well, how would they know, huh? No.
So yeah, you can here search for everything. So star means 1 or more of the thing in front of it. Plus means 1 or more of star means 0 or more. Star plus means 1 or more, and question mark means 0 or 1. And it's about the
Yeah.
thing in front of it, which I wasn't sure about that, so that's good. So this is 0 or 1 of elfed. This is every
I'm
Just
really
every
unsure
character.
about this star.
Well, I'm not
is
sure
the
actually because
wildcard.
any character
No,
will
the
be
star in
Zero or
this
more, but
regex
it
means
doesn't have anything to
it's
capture.
just a modifier, just like the question mark and the plus.
Yeah, but there is nothing to modify because there
No,
is nothing
star in this
before it.
case is wildcards. You can just choose 100 characters, random characters.
Yeah, I think the star in this case and the star in I'm pretty sure because this is also here.
Doesn't look at what's in front of.
That's
behind
also
you.
why
Yeah,
the-
if it was actually valid regex, just star would be weird.
Yeah,
it
this is
wouldn't be accepted.
JavaScript regex.
So this is like
It's
their
shitty.
regex.
It's also
You
why
can
you
do
see,
like dot star or dot plus.
Dot
that
star
is
would be a lot of dot is white space, right?
no dot is every character. So let's see,
Oh, yeah,
matches
any
any
character,
character
yeah.
except for Lime Terminators.
Oh no, maybe do.
Okay, then what is this like the?
This
star?
is actually not valid for the regex in JavaScript apparently.
Okay, that makes sense.
Gives an
So
error.
basically, star does not mean anything in the regex definition, but it means something in the JavaScript regex where it's just any character any amount of times.
And what's the difference between app.get/star and star? Because I've seen /star in the previous exercise.
It has to have a star or a slash in front of it,
yeah.
which doesn't matter since it has it anyway. But
I have another one. If it's the square brackets, so
Yeah.
does it have to be, can it be anything that's in it? So like
Any of the characters that's inside.
Yeah.
But can it also just be all characters inside of it?
I think it's one off.
It's one off.
The same set.
But real quick, let's just finish the test. We have 30 seconds, guys. So it's both of these, right?
Two B.
B.
We still managed to finish it.
Dude, this makes me feel like we have like ages.
Yeah, other question mark to the last.
We have
one.
ages.
Yeah. Let's actually check this right now.
What if
So,
you
yeah, let's check it.
What if you just enter star for every answer? You'll be correct.
Well,
it would
actually,
also be wrong three times.
Yeah, exactly. What you could do is you could do this.
Detention.
It's one of these four.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got the questions from sample exams, and then the
resit.
This one.
Wait.
Okay.
Did that thing say no solution?
Yeah, I opened the one with no solutions. That's this one, and this is the one with solutions.
Righty ho.
It's web.
This
code.
is correct. This is correct. This is correct. This
Okay, I'm not
is
gonna do
correct. This is. Oh, we got that one correct. So it is Alice because it's bound to the foo module. Dude, we are so good. C is correct.
Don't say
D is
that.
correct.
You learn something
D
new
is
every.
correct and D is
Well,
correct.
D is correct.
Slow down a bit. I also have to check my answers.
Another D.
Another
You
D.
gotta slow down a bit. I also have to-
So many D's.
You gotta slow down a bit. I also have to check my answers.
Why are your answers different from ours?
Because I have
Check
different
to-
answers.
check to
Yoda.
with the answers
Please, can
we
you go a
checked.
bit?
Check to
Can
with
you go a
the
bit slower?
You can actually just see in the
you-
the
Yeah,
document.
I have sent you the PDF.
Okay.
Then it is A, which is correct.
Like
Before, we were
our
supposed to
answers
be
are
clear.
correct.
If we didn't get
4
like
is correct.
99% correct.
Ooh! Node.js requires the callback to be a function.
Well, there goes the streak.
I would argue on this.
Yeah,
Since
I
when
would
is,
definitely- I would-
JavaScript a compiled language?
Yeah, compiling is definitely wrong in
Node.js is, I think.
I don't think it is.
Google.
Node.js is compiled.
Yeah, Google it. That's a good one.
I'm googling it.
Yeah, I'm just saying people to Google it. I'm lazy.
Yeah, the regular
So
expression.
Node.js itself is compiled, but the JavaScript running in Node.js is not.
Yeah, there would definitely be some hassle about this one.
I think it's
Yeah,
just in time
I think you could
compiling,
argue
so-
on this one.
So it's a hard one. I think you can argue both ways.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's,
we'll
it's
throw
more
a
just in
runtime
time
error.
Let's
compilation.
just go on and finish this real quick.
So-
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
C, then it's D, then it's C,
Let's go.
then it's B. Oh,
Is it?
it
Yes.
is. Then it's A, and then it's A again. We got that one right. That's good.
Nice.
So that was this one.
Yeah,
then
there's
it's
no
D.
contact for pumps.
Then it's D.
D.
And
then
it's D.
the obvious ones.
Then it's D.
D and
Then it's
and
A. Then it's D. Then it's A. Guys, it's a dab.
Okay, we're smashing.
Then it's. Oh no, it's
And
B. Wait.
No,
We
that's
have-
A.
Oh,
and
we
B.
have
I
that.
skip one. I
B.
skip one. It's A and then B. So we had everything correct except for this one, which was arguable.
Can you correct
Also,
the first
how
one?
is it
Can you correct the
arguable
first
though? Like,
one?
can't you just
Yes,
fucking
please.
fill it in and get a
Please.
definite answer?
Can you
No,
change the first
because
one?
they say when it compiles, but
RCP.
Node.js doesn't compile.
Please change the first one. Put it in the same height.
Well, they say the JavaScript inside Node.js doesn't compile, but the Node does, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't compile as Node.js. Or wait.
It doesn't compile.
It doesn't compile. Okay,
There
yeah.
should also be a comma there.
Yeah, okay, but it said it does not compile. So I'd argue about this one. I would send a peppered email.
Yes.
I mean, Node.js does not compile anyway, so.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So this
No, only the code running Node.js is compiled, but that's just because it's C.
Yeah, like Node.js is written in C, that is compiled, but the code we are writing does not get compiled.
Okay.
What is it then? Interpret?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gets
Well,
interpreted.
it's also JIT, I think, in some cases, but that depends.
Yeah.
JavaScript execution is like 5 layers or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of optimizations.
Okay.
Since
It is
the
like
answer
actually
wasn't
complex.
undefined,
Can you show the
it's mostly
regex for the last exercise?
The regex for the last one.
It's just the answer that's the most true.
Yeah, what regex engine does it use to parse this? Because Node.js doesn't recognize this regular expression.
So this is Express, so we can look at Express routing, regex, Express routing.
ExpressVPN.
Anyway, guys, on to our sponsor from today, ExpressVPN.
To give a bit
you
more
should
detail
get
on the
them
whole
to sponsor
compilation
the
thing,
votes.
by the way.
Yep.
Node.js will JIT, so just-in-time compile, code that gets executed a lot. But it will not necessarily compile code that just gets
every
executed
modern
once.
JavaScript runs like this.
Yeah, it's just a V8 engine from Chrome. So.
Yeah.
And the girl asked why Jure does all this. It's because of his sponsor, NordVPN.
Yes.
Go to the link in the description to get 3 months free and 50% off your first purchase.
Exactly.
If you're looking for a fast and secure VPN network, ExpressVPN is just for you.
Oh, here, look.
You should now
Guys.
actually put in a NordVPN sponsor link in your description.
No,
on
I
YouTube.
won't. If you, for real, guys, if you want to sponsor me, my PayPal is jurre@jillis.com. But just send me money. That's my thing I'm getting at.
Jure, I'm a patron of you. Every week I send you 10 cents for
Yeah,
twee
he does. He
kraken,
sent me
yeah?
10 cents for kraken.
Yeah, me too.
No, you are?
Set up a Patreon.
But then I
Just
should.
set up a recurring payment in PayPal.
Then, yeah,
Set
then
up
I
an
would have to
OnlyFans.
paywall some of my content, and I really don't feel like doing that.
I just have in my ING app, in my banking app, I have a thing set that every week I send you 10 cents because of a meme of like 4
This
years ago.
might be a stupid question, but are they conducting the exam on Brightspace or where
Yeah.
conducting the exam?
Yeah, Brightspace.
Why they're
It's
not
alright.
just using WebLab is beyond me, but.
Like I think this
It's
is so weird
weird
because
because you
you
can go back in WebLab.
like you're just able to Google everything, right?
Practically,
Well, yeah, you
Okay,
shouldn't.
okay, guys, shut up.
Fraud and stuff.
While we do not condone it, I
It's
wouldn't
definitely
argue
possible.
it's useful because you will not learn anything from it.
Just add it
There
in.
are, as far as we
God.
know, no measures in place against it. But let's
There may
not-
be, and then you're definitely.
Yeah,
sure.
there may be. We haven't tested it yet, but just
This
don't.
will be the course where they
People
will.
in mechanical engineering got
The
fraud.
idea alone is terrifying enough to not do it.
Exactly.
I mean, I wasn't planning on it. I don't understand anything I Google either, so.
I feel like
Fair.
even if I didn't, like, even if I wouldn't cheat, right? Well, that sounds like I'm gonna. No, so. If I don't cheat, and I would get, if I don't cheat, then I would get the like the check, and then it's like, oh yeah, why is it your answer? It would probably always come down to, well, these two were just shit, and so it was just a 50-50, and I went for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
like
could always just say, I guess.
I am not suspicious. Please
Why did you
don't
get
fucking report me.
How did you get everything
guys,
wrong? I
guys,
just guessed.
guys, real quick.
I googled the blindfold and
Guys,
made the test.
Guys, I just got an important DM saying OnlyFans when. About that. Let's fucking go.
OnlyFans.nl Jelle Jure. €5 a maand.
Oh. Stonk.
So when is
Yeah.
it?
No, we're not going quantum theory.
Nice.
You're
Somebody noticed
why
it.
why hasn't it collapsed yet?
By the way,
Fuck.
for the regex, the
Look harder.
express thingy compiles the star to dot star and puts it in parentheses.
Yeah, it uses Node.js
So
uses
just a
path2
shorthand.
regex.
I mean, there's a express route tester, and you input the route, and it shows you the regex it compiles.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
But the URL is kind of long.
Man,
I'll
isn't
send it
that
in
convenient?
voice chat.
Ain't that swell?
Stuff is cool. Okay.
I would like to have a small question. Who here actually did as they asked and went like, okay, so now I'm gonna try this on my own telnet, and now I'm gonna go to my own fruit stuff, the security
I
thing.
did it for the actual assignments where they asked for telnet.
Yeah, okay, obviously,
But
but they
that's
have to do it.
I tried in the HTTP one a bit, and I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
do
I tried it
give a
sometimes.
shit? No.
Exactly.
I
don't
you
think
didn't really learn anything.
Like,
I leave it alone. Everybody
Guys, I want some silence real quick because if we're not gonna do anything that's necessarily web related and you're just gonna chit chat, I'm probably gonna end the recording. But it's up to you guys. I'm not sure if we have enough time to just do another whole exam.
Yeah, I'd say just end it.
I would say if we do a whole exam, just do it by yourself to see what you know, because I think this is a really bad. It's a good way to learn, but it's a bad indication of what
Seriously,
you.
this
as
is
a
way
person
better
know.
to learn than the actual course.
Yeah, it's better than the course, but
Anything is better than the course, honestly.
no, but like it is while it's probably better than the course. Of course, you have to have seen the course first, but this helps more.
Wait, was there a court?
No, of course, Lucio, remember?
Stream limit says a lot.
There was.
The answer that's debatable.
We took the course offline with the
visible.
visibility is 0.
Yeah. But yeah.
Did anyone actually go to the Q&As?
Test visibility for everything hidden. The test is gone.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like nobody turned up to Q&A.
Holy
right?
shit, guys, look!
Woohoo!
Oh, thank you!
It's confirmed. It's confirmed. Write this down. Write this down.
Screenshot it.
We got him. We got him.
No,
Ladies
you have
and
to
gentlemen,
like.
we got
You have to sign it. You have to sign it though.
You have to get her face on it. You have to get her face on it. So
Yeah.
we have
You have to get a face for blackmail. No, guy, fuck off.
You stopped the recording, right?
No, not yet. So, anyways, for everybody who's still watching, rip, and thank you for your patience. I hope you do well on your test tomorrow. Good luck, king, queen, monarchs.
Don't
and
peasants.
see you guys on the next one. Probably next period, next quarter. I think it's quarter. Bye bye.